Have you been doubting your twin flame journey and if this is real or will you ever come into reunion? If so, stay tuned because I have a third wave twin flame couple that's going to share their journey with you. Let's go! Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Harmony. I'm a twin flame expert helping twin flames around the globe face fears, find freedom, and glow forward on fire. I have a special couple today that has come forth that just showed up in my life literally yesterday. So I want to thank Nate and Allison for being here. But I also just really quickly, before I turn it over to them and ask them a few questions, I want to remind all of you as the audience about the video that I did last week on the energy timelines and the 3 waves of twins. And so I will put a link to this video for you to connect to that and go back and review that if you have not seen that, because I talk about the timeline of twins. I talk about the alignment of twins coming together in union and how that fits into the universal reboot that we're having between November and here coming up on March 20th. And so with that being said, Nate and Allison fall right into the timeline as third waivers, perfectly on time. And so they came forward today to share their story with you. So again, thank you both for showing up. And Nate, I'm going to start with you. And if you could share with the audience a little bit about your wake up, how you connected to your twin flame awakening, and then we'll pick up from there. So I'm going to let you start.
Yeah, sure. So basically it was probably about 3 months after my ex-wife and I separated. We started our spiritual journey with watching The Secret on Netflix, and that basically she read a lot of spiritual type books and books about synchronicity and about just spiritual awakening in general. So like I was pulled into it by her at first, and she put me on to your book. And as I started reading it, I started making like highlights and really trying to come into my own, because after our relationship, I was broken. Like I didn't know what to do. Like I was because we had been together for 10 years at the time, and I didn't know what to do. I was so used to being in that relationship and being, with her and like not anything else. And like I depended on that. So I wanted to, like, in my alone time, I was able to read your book, and I finished it right around September, October timeframe last year. And it opened me up. It showed me that, all of this, like there were so many synchronicities that happened when I was reading the book that just really showed me that this is all real. This is all, it's everything comes together. The universe is there to bring us all together. And I was also doing full moon rituals at the time, and I was trying to manifest my twin flame through that. And I did. And
Wow.
I wasn't ready for her until I was finished with your book, and it was not even like a month. There was probably give or take a month in between me finishing your book and me meeting Allison. And it was just so powerful that everything came together, and the divine timing was there, and just everything that I read in your book actually was happening. And we're just trying to get to the next point. We want to continue our journey.
Wow. So your ex-wife actually turned you on to the book, and that's kind of like, I think you had mentioned to me potentially her being a facilitator or a connection to help you awaken, and you guys have actually continued to manage to help each other, I think, evolve kind of through this. Is that not correct? That's correct.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Very beautiful. That's unconditional love right there.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's what I wear this for, my rose quartz.
Wow. That's so awesome. So thank you definitely for sharing that. How about how can you share with us how then a little bit more detail of how you kind of brought and manifested Allison into your life so fast? Because And as we do that, I guess I want to step out as a question's coming through, and I want it to piggyback because there's so many people out there that are giving up on this journey. They're wanting to throw in a towel. They don't think they believe in it. The ones that's been around this journey a long time. And as I told you yesterday in our session, that you third waivers are coming in to anchor this in, bring it home, and actually bring the light up for the ones that's been around doing this for a while.
Yeah.
So how you personally went through, like, can you share some of your challenges that you really dug deep? Because I want these people to understand.
So actually, while I was in the process of reading the book, I believe I ran into a false twin flame. Like, I met this girl, I connected with her like instantly, and things were going good for a while, and then she was back with her ex-boyfriend, like out of nowhere, and it was just like, what the hell happened? You know, like why this connection was so strong, and it was like I felt it, and it was there, and then it was just gone in an instant. It really taught me that I need to not fall in love with every girl that, you know, I think is, you know, like, because I wanted it so bad, and I was reading your book, and then I was like, I actually went back and read some of the early passages of the book that was like getting ready for your twin flame, and it was like, okay, I have to focus on me now, because if I'm not ready for myself, I'm not going to be ready for my twin flame.
Which means you also let go of the outcome, is kind of what you're saying, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Which is key. And that's what detachment is, what people have the biggest problem with.
Yes. And I basically, like, I always look at things as positively as I can. I try to live through positivity. And I was just like, you know, like, you just got to keep going, keep moving. And I was like, I had like an ex-girlfriend that I was dating here and there, but like there was no connection there. We had already lost it. It was just kind of like we were having fun. So it was just like, you know, I'm done with this. And then lo and behold, I show up to work one night, and there's this beautiful woman working there.
Oh, so can you introduce her to my audience, and let's hear from her now? I'm gonna hear what she has. This is like a he said, she said.
Yeah. Well, initially, neither of us are from Nevada. We both moved here within you moved here within the last 3 years.
Yeah, I moved here in 2017.
Okay, and I just moved here last July.
And we're in Reno.
Yeah, we're in Reno, Nevada. I'm from Southern California, and he's from Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hit the jackpot there, didn't you?
Yeah. But it's funny because I'm from Michigan, she's from Southern California. Like, who would have thought, like, we were on the opposite? Like, obviously it's different. Like, your twin flames overseas, so, you know, it's crazy how those things happen.
How we were so far apart, and then just something brought us here, you know?
Yeah.
I moved here last July. And before that, I was in a relationship, and I actually moved here to get away from that. It was a relationship that just no longer served me anymore, and I felt like I had really lost myself in it, and I needed to get back to what was true to me. And I felt that the only way of doing that was to get as far away as possible. My parents actually moved out here a couple of years ago, and so that's what brought me here. I had a really hard time the first few months I was here, just trying to reconnect with myself and get back to my roots, because I've always been really I've been spiritual my whole life. Like, I've had a real deep understanding of just, you know, things will work out. Like, it'll always work out no matter what, no matter how bad it gets. Like, just I've always had that positive mentality no matter what I went through. And so I did a lot of meditation when I got here. I did a lot of just law of attraction, like guided meditations, just trying to really have the universe give me what I need. And it was never specified or anything, just more show me what my next step is. Just get me there. And then I was actively looking for a job. I had a staffing agency actually reach out to me, and they were like, hey, we have this job, and I started my paperwork in August, and at the beginning of September, I had started working at the same job, and then that's where we met.
Alignment, right?
Yeah, yeah.
She lived less than a mile from where
We
I
lived-
lived
yeah.
too.
Yeah,
I didn't find that out until I took her home from work one day.
we lived like around the corner from each other as soon as I moved here, and then met at work.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Initially, it was just we knew there was a connection. It wasn't like we were seeking to be together. It wasn't a romantic thing at all in the beginning. It was just like, I'm super drawn to this person, and I'm not sure like what it is, but I'm gonna go ahead and act on it. We hung out a few times. We got to know each other a lot more, and then it just like lit the fire.
Yeah.
lit the fire, so to speak. He had a
actual awakening then to the twin flame. I guess you had already been studying it, Nate, so you kind of knew what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How did you guys then have kind of that conversation of, were you waking up at the same time, or did Allison, did you even know about twin flames at that time?
Yeah, I actually felt the connection before he did. Okay. And we were actually sitting on our lunch break one night, and I told him, I just looked at him and I was like, you need to stop fighting this. Like, I can feel you just so much resistance.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just stop. I said, we both have children outside of this relationship. I have a son and he has a son. And so we're parents before anything. And I told him, we have a lot of factors that are already keeping us away from each other. Like, you don't need to be another factor in that. Let's just go with the flow and just see what happens. Mm-hmm. And after we had that talk, it just became apparent just how everything was coming together.
Yeah.
And then can you talk about like the flow of twins being in sync and harmony, because we talk about that all the time as far as everything is just.
Oh yeah, like this is the easiest relationship I've ever had. Like
Absolutely.
Everything just flows. Like
yeah.
we have almost the same mindset. Like
so much understanding.
Yeah.
Just unsaid understanding at all times. Anytime we're going through a situation or we're going through a hardship, there's just like a force that.
Yeah.
Well, I can see it around the two of you. You're glowing. I mean, you definitely turn each other on. And actually, can you talk a little bit about that? Because I know that, Nate, you mentioned yesterday how your presence of the two of you just walk into a room and people can.
Yeah. I'm like I said, like we're stemmed from. I believe that we're both stemmed from the Blu-ray, and we've always been there for people around us, like individually. We've been that presence. So together, it just amplifies it. Like, we're always the life of the party. Like, everybody's always just like wanting to be around us, and like we just attract, and we attract good people. Like our soul family here is just
amazing.
They're like the greatest people I've ever met, and I've traveled all over the world. I've been in the Navy. I was a field service tech. I was overseas. I've met a lot of people, but I've never met people like the people that I've met here. Yeah. Like I know that. We came here.
You came there as your tribe then also, right? Like, you guys are putting a lot of light in that space there.
And all of us in our group, or except for one, well, I mean, even he's from Vegas. Like, all of us are from different parts. Like, we have a friend from Florida. We have a friend from Kansas. Like, and most of us are military brats. Like, we are all, like, gotten out of the service, and we all, came together here for work, and we all just became instant family. Like, we're just it's the closest I've never been close with a group of friends as I have here. Like,
wow.
Like, my friends at first were like, don't you mess this up, Nate, because if you mess this up, she's still going to be in the friend group and you're just going to be off for all the time. And she's part of our group, man.
You're out, buddy, you're out.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep.
That is awesome. I got to tell you, my son is your age, Nate, actually, totally your age, and he's in Kansas City. He's also a twin with his twin. He's a second waver.
Awesome.
And I've noticed a whole entire group of his friends he's grown up with, and they're twins, and how they're all migrating and being pulled into Kansas City area on the opposite side of me, and from here in St. Louis in the Midwest, we're anchoring all this heart energy here. And it's really cool because I can see what's happening and what they're doing. And they're the same way. It's this whole thing with the whole clique of the whole group, and they're coming together and they're like literally lighting up, like as even as a group, the more you bring that together, the amplified that get. And, you know, you guys are in that, coming in that millennial age of, you know, bringing in and helping us do this work as we're transitioning through this timeline and portal of this month, coming into the new earth, the new world, living it, living it out in full play, you know, playing life full out. And I couldn't thank you guys enough for being a part of that to help in this journey.
Yeah.
Thank you. And what advice would you give to my audience based on where they're at right now, wanting to give up on their twin flame journey?
Don't give up. It's there. It's going to happen. You just got to stay positive, work on yourself, you know, what was the checklist you sent me?
It's the Free Your Soul checklist, which, by the way, everyone, I'll have a link below. You want to talk about it? I don't know if you've had time to look at it, Nate, but
I haven't yet. No, I had to go to work like right after we.
Just to share just a little bit about that so the audience knows, it's about being able to go through a list of things that will help you finally release your past, so that for once and for all, you can kind of move forward in this portal that we're going through now and claim freedom. And I've actually did that a couple years ago, but it's really like for people, what I'm seeing in these 3 different waves, they're needing different things. So we have new waivers coming in, waking up, that are needing support, as you two are, saying, what's my mission? What do we got to do left? What do we got to clean up? What do we need to do going forward? Then there's the ones that's been around a while that they're kind of giving up, and the feminine are actually moving on with their purpose. So I've been helping them get into purpose, which, by the way, if anybody else also, there's a link below to my Unlock Your Passion project, 30 days Unlock Your Passion project. That's a free resource that I cannot tell you, it's changed my own life. There's a link below as well in that. But then there's the people also, as I was about to say, that have been stuck, and they're trying to move forward, and they're trying to let go. And there's another layer of contracts that haven't been released, energetic attachments that haven't been let go of, forgiveness work, canceling your karmic vows and your debts that you have bound to in this contract. And the key thing is, especially if you're a first waiver and somewhat a second waiver, depending upon the border and the transition you are in that, you have to get that contract virtually complete before you're going to align, because that's what you signed up for. Unlike the third waivers, they had less to clear. They're coming in and bringing, you know, it's the first waivers kind of went through, then the second waivers came up and taking it wider. Third waivers are closing the portal and the door, and then it's reversing in union backwards. So third waivers are coming into union, second waivers, first waivers, kind of in the reverse patterns coming together. So
I'd also just say, you know, put in the work, like do the meditations, do the, you know, let go of your past, you know, sever those karmic ties. Like that's the only way to move forward, you know, stay positive, like keep negativity out.
We do a lot of full moon rituals now together, but I used to do them by myself, and just I noticed that a lot of my lists weren't now it's more of things that we want to come into our life, as before it was a lot more like I had a lot more negatives on my list, like things that I needed to let go. I needed to let go of my selfishness, my ego, just completely come into my own and put all of my energy in believing myself and unconditional love, and just like that's the key. You just need to wholeheartedly believe in yourself, and then everything else will just fall into place. Yeah.
You guys are so brilliant and so smart. Do you know how do you know how long it took me to figure that out?
Well, you helped us figure it out, so thank you.
And so I know people can do this, and I know, you know, I totally believe in this journey, and I want to thank you guys also, because I've been saying this stuff out there since even before my book, going on a whim of what my knowing was.
Yes. Yeah. You have you have everything in yourself.
Yes.
It's all there.
All there.
And I was stepping out though with my truth and my knowledge and my wisdom and my divine guidance of downloads saying, this is truth, this is what's happening, this is what's going on. And then to not know that in reality, in almost a prediction, and then to see the prediction come to pass, like, oh my gosh, like, even for myself, not that I didn't even believe it, I just want to say it adds power to the of that knowing, right?
Yeah, not only that, just the confirmation that we got yesterday during the session just gave so much more power, where it's just like, when you started laughing and said, oh, I see a dolphin, your twin's there, just like, bam.
Yeah.
It was just like, okay, like, it's confirmed. Like, not that I didn't believe it before, but just...
We knew, but it's just...
hearing it, you know? Like,
hearing it.
Can I share how that happened?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Nate and I Allison actually signed up for the session and felt like Nate needed it. So I show up and there was nobody on there, but it was a phone call. So I'm like, hi, Allison, nice to meet you. And I hear a man's voice, you know?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm like, oh, like I was a little dazed at first. And then he's like, oh, Allison thought I needed this minute for some things I need. And then, so like, I'm working with Nate and I'm like, all of a sudden I go, hold on, something's coming in. And I get this big vision of the dolphin and he goes, oh, it's my twin. She stepped into the energy field of what we were doing and she showed up. And it was like, I felt her and I saw her just before he told me. I was like, I knew it was her there. And the cool thing is about that, that's even, like you said, confirmation for you, but I had no clue she was really coming in there. So it truly gives you the knowing of like, oh, well, you can't make this shut up, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. It just gives me so much joy to see you guys' light and to know, like, and I know that, like, you don't 100% know the answer to this, but I want to ask it anyway, because I know this is kind of why you had came to me. But where do you see you guys' self? Where do you see this in the mission? What do you feel is next? I know that's a big question, and I'm kind of putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
Where I feel like we've always been that kind of like guidance advocate for people in our separate lives. Mm-hmm. And now even more so now that we're together, a lot of people come to us just for strangers. Like just unsolicited advice, you know, just on their lives or relationships.
Or people just want to get stuff off their chest. Yeah. And they just unload on us.
Yeah.
It's like
twin flame confessions, I call that. Like when people get around you and you vacuum that, purge that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like a confession that they don't even know why they're doing it. Even if you do that together or with people, they don't know why they're doing it, but it's a purge that's vacuuming.
Yeah. And we're both like, even us and our group of our soul group, like we're all introverts, like we're all homebodies, and we're like, but like we know, like we talked about this before, like we just need to get out and be around people more. Like we just need to go out, do our thing, and like it just comes to us. We attract it. Yeah, like we attract that. So we're spreading the light just by being around, like being out and around.
Sure you haven't watched my videos?
No,
I have not.
No.
I have not seen a single one.
I know, that's why I'm saying this, because like you're saying what I say to people. Like it's so cool. And in that, like what's also very cool, like you're really saying that you're trusting the process and you don't know what you're going to do, but you're going to be open to allow that to happen, and you're going to show up, and that's going to unfold for you guys to just know that whatever it is, you guys are really just on board to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we did this too. And when she told me, these are the days of schedule, I was like, let's do it tomorrow. That's fine. Like I'm super down. Like, especially since like the session is, so like still like right there because it just happened. It's just like this is the start to the rest of our journey.
And like I tell him, he'll tell me sometimes like, oh no, I just want to be home. Like I don't want to go out. And I'm like, it's because we get out there and all these people and their energy, and it's exhausting. Like by the time you get home, you're exhausted.
Drained.
And we just need to do the cleansing work that we need to do, and then we'll be able to put ourselves out there more. Because it's draining sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, and I understand that. And the greater your light goes and the more used to you get, you will start to learn to be able to be open to give, but not absorb, because most twin flames are empaths and they take on all the energy that
Exactly.
Yes.
It's about learning how to like be in that without absorbing that.
Like
Yeah.
filter.
That's something for you to definitely work on, even as a couple, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Individual selves to like shield and protect and not absorb. And that'll come with time. And that, you know, like as you learn more and you do more and you're out there more, I think, as I told you yesterday, you already got these gifts in you that are activating and waking up to you, and it's unlocking. What you need to do is just there. It's going to be a baby. You don't have the manual. You're just going to know what to do.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, I did energy healing and took all kinds of diplomatic programs and on for over 20 years of energy healing. And I do energy healing virtually every day now. And there's not really one thing that I was trained that I do, because it's all been downloaded and unlocked to do.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. That's another thing, is like getting to unlocking the you know, the ultimate library of knowledge, and like getting to that point. Like we had one time where I came home from work and we were hanging out for a while, and I laid down on the bed and I just started like thinking about stuff. And I actually, at one point, like I called my son, and he was not here. He was at my ex-wife's house, like which is, I mean, less than a mile away, but I was calling him, and all of a sudden in my head, I'm in this kitchen, and he's standing there, and he asked me a question, and I went, "What?" And I said that. I literally said, "What?"
I was like, "Where'd you go?"
Yeah. And she was like, "What?" I was like, "I was just in the kitchen with Dexter, like on a totally different plane of existence." I brought him to me, and I started thinking about a whole lot. So like, I have unlocked it to an extent, but like how I did it, I don't know. Like I was just in the zone, and it just came to me, and
and that's only going to pick up speed, because being in each other's presence is continuing an activation. It's going to continue to make your light go up and up and up and expand and anchor, and it's going to be something that your gifts continue just to kind of explode as you're
our full moon rituals have been like everything we've been asking for has just tenfold. Yeah. Like absolutely.
It's what do you call it? It's not multiplied, but brain fart. Doubled. Like it's just exponentially, like the more that we are in sync, like with either like we don't show each other, you know, what we're putting down as our let go or, you know, manifest. Like
we give each other the room for your own personal expansion.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah.
But like, I mean, we still like we'll talk about.
We'll discuss it like after, like, oh, I just want to let you know, like, this is something that I really focused on, like, more than anything else.
Or like when we manifest something, like this was in it, like you know, like just like we did this, you know.
Wow.
It's just
you guys are
it's a different, and I was telling him too, it's just a different love. Like I've loved people in my life, you know.
Same.
I've been in love with people in my life. Same. But this is just like, you loved all those people. Like it goes back to like the ego, and then the just unconditional love thing. Like you love all those people with ego. Like there's always something that you can benefit from the relationship, or it's a relationship that affects your life in a certain way. That's why you're in it. Yeah. It's not because exactly. It's a lesson. It's a lesson that you have to learn. You have it because you have to go through the trial and the stipulation in order to like come into your own. And I told him, this is just it. I can't. There's no words.
Yeah, there's no words. It's just amplified, like nothing it's nothing we've ever felt before. And like we tell each other, like you feel so good. Yeah, like, being around, and like you said in your book, like we hate leaving each other. Yeah. Like when we have to go to work, and like when we're at work, we're like, God, I miss you. Like
I'm like, we're in this reality, so we have to play along. Like we have to go to work.
Well, but I got to just tell you this. I have another newbie twin flame third waivers that I met with her actually it might have been yesterday. Actually, it was yesterday. and they literally woke up in November and are living together now, and even had to move into like different state and all this other stuff in like 6 weeks time that this all kind of ended up happening. And so basically she was saying to me like the same thing, and she was telling me how like she actually goes to work with him, which you guys kind of do too.
We used to.
Yeah, we were on the same
we
shift.
were
Now
on
we're
the same
completely opposite shifts.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Wow. You didn't hear me earlier because you guys were kind of talking to each other, and I was saying this at the same time. Like you guys are activating me. Like I can feel.
Yeah.
So I know. Again, I want to thank you for coming forth with your story. You know, I hope as the guest, you guys have managed to put some belief back in your journey to know this is stuff is
Yes.
real.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And unless you guys have any final messages, we're pretty complete. Unless there's any final message you would have to say, is there?
Yeah, just
don't quit.
Do not
Just
quit.
don't
It's
quit.
so worth it's worth the wait. Like
Yeah.
I know, like it happened for me extremely fast, and like I know that's not completely normal, but even for the people that have been trying for so long, don't give up, because you're going to be rewarded tenfold.
Yeah.
Like it's something that you can't, like I said, we can't even put into words how we feel about it, because there's no words to describe
it all comes down to divine timing.
Exactly.
You cannot
can't rush
go
it.
You can't go based off the years, off all the time that you had to put in, because you have to go through what you have to go through in order to really appreciate it when it does fall into your lap. Otherwise you
won't be ready.
You won't be ready.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Like I'm feeling like these tears of joy. Like I was gonna like just burst into tears because it's so beautiful. So thank you so much. And
oh yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I just can't wait to hear about your guys' progress and journey, because I know whatever you end up doing, it's going to be huge. So
Thanks.
We've known that too. We've both been saying that for a while. Like we're going to change the world, and we really are.
Yes.
So everyone, please check out the links below for these resources, and make sure to get plugged in. Like, comment, share the shine, and may you always face your fears, find freedom, and glow forward on fire. Namaste.